August, me and Atakan here visited a presentation, a doctor's thesis at the Danderyd Hospital, Karolinska, under the governance of the Karolinska Institute. During the final discussions, Professor Gunilla Bolinder of the Karolinska Institute stated that, I have to read so I get this quote exact, they are working now on the harm reduction. They just touch on that, and this is a huge problem because we should, as scientists, be more interested in the comparison between non-users of a drug and users of a drug that have the worst side of exposure. But you must always compare with the non-users. She basically say that you shouldn't care about anything in between white and black on a scale. Do you agree that there is something wrong in comparing reduced harm with worst harm, in addition to comparing reduced harm with no harm?
I think this is a good example of how the academy, universities worldwide, and science is breaking down. We have people who are now professors who make statements like that.
Yeah.
And we should be studying everything.
Yeah.
But particularly when we're concerned about reducing the rates of lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, stroke, the main preventable causes of illness from smoking and tobacco. And we now have a range of products that can do that and that can reduce that harm. We want to understand the continuum of harm.
The whole range,
That's right.
From the most deadly products down this the whole scale.
Yes, that's right. We want to understand all of it, and of course, you would want to also know, what's the difference between these and no use. But the most important thing is reducing the rates of lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, stroke, and a number of the other smoking-related, diseases. That's what's really important. The thing is, when you start focusing on something that really doesn't cause a lot of harm, for a small country like New Zealand, for example, with a small health budget, you need to prioritise. There's always an opportunity cost. And all of the effort going into running around creating alarm about something that really is not a public health issue. There are far bigger public health issues, and the funding should be rerouted to deal with those, get people off smoking, and then we need to deal with obesity and alcohol. Many other issues are far more important, unfortunately.
Yeah. Your opinion is that this is really not very scientific, to just focus on those who smoke and those who don't at all. We have in the world 1.2 billion smokers, I think, and according to the World Health Organization, the smoking habits of these 1.2 billion people incur a total health cost or production loss cost for the world society of about $2 trillion, American dollars. How could it be so impossible for some parts of the science and universities to grasp that it must be totally impossible, even with all the BNP, all the money in the world, you could never get 1.2 billion smokers to quit cold turkey.
There's a lot of reasons why people are against harm reduction. Harm reduction is going to save money, but in order to get that harm reduction, you need people to stop smoking. As people stop smoking, you get less tax income. So, as I said, I've just been to Japan. and this is something that the Minister of Finance is concerned about. So when heat-not-burn products were introduced, they had 27% drop in the tobacco market as people, mass exodus of smokers to the heat-not-burn products, which were not taxed at the same rate. So the Japan government got a bit of a shock, and they realised that this is a disaster, the amount of funding that they will lose. And our acting Prime Minister, Winston Peters, he has also identified that the loss of taxes as smokers switch or stop is going to be a bit of a problem for New Zealand. He said we're just not going to be able to afford to do many of the other programs government want to do. So,
but on the other hand, in accounting, there's always a debit and a credit. Tax revenues from selling cigarettes brings income, but then you have the debit, which is the health cost.
Sweden has an interesting take on that because we've done some math, and we have approximately 11 billion in tax revenue from cigarettes. We calculate costs at 31 billion. For snus, we have a considerably lower revenue, which is 3 billion. But on the other hand, we cannot find any costs at all. And the savings from the lower smoking is not factored into that. So that would probably mean a massive hidden saving.
But we also have a sort of a national, worldwide, how to say, ethics. Because who considers someone catching lung cancer from smoking perhaps affecting for sure that his or hers whole family, productivity, sick leave, which costs the employer and the society a lot of money, but most of all the suffering these persons. How can you can't quantify that in dollars or Swedish krona, whatever.
So this is another area in public health. We haven't really had consideration of ethics. So public health ethics as a discipline is actually only a new discipline, and only beginning to look at this and question the stigmatizing campaigns, the shaming of people, so it's really a new literature.
Right.
So we've been operating for maybe 35 years without consideration of those kinds of questions.
But do I understand you correctly? These concerns should be also focused on.
Absolutely.
Right.
It is not ethical to run a campaign, for example, a stigmatizing campaign about someone who smokes, that even if it harms one person, even if you destroy that person's well-being or cause them to be socially isolated from their peer and family group, for instance, because of that stigmatization. I mean, in New Zealand, we have people openly abuse women on the street if they're visibly pregnant and smoking. People feel absolutely justified going up and having a go at her. This is not okay. So,
should instead focus on helping these people.
We need to help people, and we need to have ethical. We need to have respect for people's dignity.
Yeah.
And I was really interested in Japan. They do not approve of the whole shaming, stigmatizing thing. It's culturally not appropriate to shame someone. So they didn't do the same thing that we've done in the rest of the Western countries in Europe.